In this video, I'm going to be talking about the points you get from the Capital One Venture X card and all the different ways there are to use those points. I'm also going to be talking about the different redemption values you get for each of those different methods of using those points. So whether or not you're looking at getting the Venture X card in the near future, or if you already have it and you're looking at the best way to use your points, this is a great video for you and you should keep watching. So I'm just gonna go through this with my screen shared so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing and it will be clear. Right here I have the main page that you see when you log in to your Capital One account, and if you see down on the right, I have 17,289 miles. So in order to get to the benefits section, I just click there. We'll click on the Venture X card and it will bring up this page. Right here you will see all these different options, and this right here basically shows you all the different ways that you can use Capital One Venture X points. You can click on any one of these tiles to get more information, but we'll just go through each of them and I'll talk about which ones are good to use, which ones are bad, and some of the hiccups that you can have with different ones. So let's just start with the first one, booking a trip. And Capital One has their very own travel portal. If you don't know, this is what it looks like. You can book rental cars, hotels, flights. If you book and pay for this with the Venture X, you will get 5 points back per dollar on flights and 10 points back per dollar on hotels and rental cars. But I'm just gonna go through a quick example. Let's say we're gonna go from Seattle to Las Vegas, just because there's some things downstream that can be helpful to know. First off, it shows you when you're looking at dates, when is a good and bad time to book, indicated by color. So let's just book a low price ticket, let's say February 6th through the 11th, and we'll search for some flights. So here we are at the next page. You can see all this information here. It shows kind of the bar from green to red, showing you how good of a price you're getting for this flight. But basically what I want to show you is if you continue on through this process. So I skipped through entering all my information, the seat selection, stuff like that, because I wanted to get to here to show you this. Once you get through the process and it comes time to pay, you have the option to apply Venture X rewards. In this case, it would be 5,378 miles for the 5378 flight. Or I could say, do not apply my rewards and just pay for the flight with the Venture X card and get 5 points back per dollar. So that is how you can use points using the Capital One travel portal. The next thing you can do is you can convert rewards. So this is if you've had American Express or Chase, similar to that, you can transfer your points to an airline or hotel transfer partner. Capital One has 17 transfer partners, all shown here. Mostly airlines, but they do offer Wyndham rewards as well for Wyndham hotels. But in order to use these, you just have to create a loyalty account with one of these different airline reward programs. Let's say British Airways, for example. Create a loyalty account with British Airways, get a membership number, and then you'd input that membership number here in order to transfer your Capital One miles to British Airways. So if you had a flight on British Airways that you wanted to book, you could transfer those points over and book with points on British Airways. And the points guy actually gives an average of 1.85 cents per point when you use your Capital One points transferring to one of their transfer partners. So really this is one of the best ways, or the best ways, you can get the most value out of your points. But it can be kind of a pain to find a flight on another loyalty program and transfer those points over and just go through all that. But that is the way you can get the best value for your points if you want to take the time to do that. So the next thing you can do is you can cover your purchases. So when you buy things on the Capital One Venture X, if it is a travel related purchase, if it is marked as a travel related purchase by the merchant, or if it is any purchase through the Capital One travel portal, flights, hotels, or rental cars, it will show up here when you click cover purchases. I don't have any purchases showing up because I haven't been using this card as for my main spend, but if there was any travel related purchases, they would show up here and you could simply click on those purchases. Say there was a $100 charge for a rental car and I could say cancel out purchase, and I would basically just use 10,000 miles to get a $100 statement credit to essentially cancel out that purchase. Or there's a little edit button that will show up on the side. So for that $100 rental car, say I only had 8,000 miles, so I only was able to cancel $80 of that $100 purchase. I could do that as well. You don't have to have enough points to cover the whole purchase. So one thing I want to mention at this point, now that we've gone over the Capital One travel portal and the purchase erasure using cover travel purchases, is I personally recommend when you're booking stuff through the Capital One travel portal to pay for it with your Venture X card. And in doing so, you get the 5 or 10x points, whether you're booking flights or rental car or hotel. And then after you pay for it and the charge posted to your account, then you can just cancel it away with the cover travel purchases option, the purchase eraser essentially. If you just pay with points on the Capital One travel portal, then you don't get that 5 or 10x points back on those purchases. So if you actually purchase it on the card and cancel out the purchases later, then you will have the benefit of getting those 5 or 10x points on those purchases. So just kind of a little bit of my experience, a good way to actually maximize and get a little bit more points when you're going through this whole process. But either way, whether you're paying with points on the travel portal or you're covering travel purchases, you're gonna get 1 cent per point always for that. So not a bad way to use your points. The next thing we're gonna look at is redeeming for experiences. I'm not really gonna go into this too much. There are some culinary experiences and some sporting event, like Capital One exclusive sections of sporting events or Capital One exclusive culinary promotional events. And if you click into here, it will show you some of those options. Usually they're all sold out. I think there's a very limited number of these that are offered, or there's nothing available. I've never actually seen any of them available, but you don't actually get 1 cent per point value for these either. So if anyone has gone to any of these culinary experiences before, leave a comment below, let me know and let everybody else know if this is something that's worth spending points on. But I, for one, like to use my points for travel instead of these kind of promotional events through Capital One, but that's just me. Another way you can use your points is with gift cards. Gift cards, you're gonna get a value of somewhere from 0.8 cents per point to 1 cent per point, depending on what company. And there are a large variety of companies to choose from, but let's just pick one at random. Nintendo, you can buy a gift card and you'll get a value of 1 cent per point for that. But some of the other ones, let's say Petco, another 1 cent per point. Let's try Pottery Barn. Pottery Barn, you'll only get 0.8 cents per point. So not a bad way to spend your points, but you're just gonna wanna look and try to go for the offers that give you a better value for your points. So that is gift cards. And then there are also the option to redeem for cash. Can be very convenient. As you can see here, you have the option of getting a statement credit on your credit card or them just mailing a check to your address. And it's very simple. You just put in the number of points you want to redeem for cash, shows you the amount of cash you'll be getting for those points, and you hit redeem. You're only going to get 0.5 cents per point, so I would definitely avoid using your points in this way unless you really didn't have any desire to travel or get a gift card or anything like that. But that option is there if you want to just cash out all your points for 0.5 cents per point. It's just so easy to get 1 cent per point with Capital One points that I really have a hard time imagining why you would want to do that, but to each their own. And then next, there are PayPal and Amazon, which are essentially used in the same way. You just add the VentureX card as a payment method in your PayPal account or your Amazon account. And then when you go to check out, if you click on your VentureX card to check out, it will give you the option to pay with points instead of cash if you have points available, which I think is kind of a sneaky way that they get you because you're not really paying attention. You're on Amazon, you have some purchases, and then you go to check out and it's like, hey, just so you know, you can just get all this for free if you just use these points. But the thing is, you're not really getting a very good point redemption value when you are using your points in this way. Both with PayPal and Amazon, you're only getting 0.8 cents per point. So it can be a good way to cash out all your points if you don't have any travel that you'd like to spend on. But if you do, it's definitely a lot more valuable to use your points for travel because you can easily get 1 or more cents per point instead of the 0.8 cents per point you'll get with Amazon and PayPal. And then the last option you have here is to move rewards. So if I had another Capital One account, it should automatically show up here. I don't, but you would be able to move rewards between Capital One accounts. But another perk that is offered with this card, which you have to call in order to get, is you can actually transfer rewards to anybody else as long as they have a Spark or Venture card, which is a great perk that's pretty much exclusive to Capital One. Chase gives you the option to transfer to people within your immediate family, but nobody, as far as I'm aware, allows you to transfer points to anybody you want. It's just kind of a pain to do so. You have to call the number on the back of your card, and you'd have to provide the name and credit card number of the person you're trying to transfer points to. But you do have that option if you want to combine points with a friend or a spouse or something like that in order to book a large purchase at the same time. You do have that option with Capital One to do that. You just don't have the option to do it online. You have to call in again. So those are all the ways you can use Capital One Venture X points. To sum up, in value, you can get the best redemption from converting your rewards to other partner programs, like to British Airways, like we showed in the example. If you do so, the points guide gives an average of 1.85 cents per point of value you can potentially get when doing that. Potentially a lot more or potentially a little bit less, depending on how you use it. Then next, you can get 1 cent per point when you book trips to the Capital One travel portal, or when you erase purchases, or when you buy gift cards. In certain gift cards, you're going to want to make sure you're getting the ones that give you the best value of 1 cent per point. And then you also have the option, a little bit lower value, to redeem for experiences, redeem with PayPal, and shop with Amazon. All three of those methods you will get very close to or exactly 0.8 cents per point, which obviously is not terrible, but again, it's pretty easy to get 1 cent per point or more with the Venture X card. And then last of all, you have redeeming for cash at 0.5 cents per point. So that would be the lowest tier value you can get for your points, is basically half value. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Those are all the different ways that you can use Capital One Venture X points and the redemption values for each of those methods. If you found this video helpful or interesting or entertaining, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos like this in ways you can travel with points, travel for free, or travel hack, please subscribe to my channel, because I'll post more videos in that genre on a weekly or usually more monthly basis. But with that, have a good one.